Hello, YouTube. Luigi here. Today's the 29th of January, 2022, the day of the Great Nor'easter. Um, Even though eastern Long Island might get 27 inches of snow, up here in northern New Hampshire, we're only expected to get 3.5 inches, so that's a good thing. I've watched many YouTube watch reviews. I've learned much at the hands of others, and I'm grateful for all that. And I keep seeing these things, SOTC State of the Collection videos, and I'm going to do one. This is part one dealing only with quartz. I'm going to show you 14 watches in alphabetical order by manufacturer. And I want you to notice, because this is new to me, I went out and bought a light box and experimented in macro photography. Now, it's nowhere near as good as Shane's macro photography, probably the best out there, Shane from Relative Time, but it's my version of it. So these are going to be brief overviews. I'll give you case diameter and very little else. We're just going to look at them um, and we're going to have fun. So thanks for tuning in and let's get on with it. First guy on our list is the Casio Duro, what I'm fond of calling the indestructible workhorse of the quartz watch industry. Everybody knows the Duro. I'll bet this is the single most reviewed on YouTube watch out there. There's a gajillion of them, including one of my own. This is 44 millimeters in diameter and is therefore one of the largest watches I own. I only have one watch that's bigger, and we're going to get to it at the end of this video. The loom on it is mediocre at best. You'll notice I have a bond strap. Now, I didn't say bond NATO, and I didn't say bond pass-through. This is a proper two-piece strap. I'm not fond of NATOs. I'm not fond of putting two thicknesses of material underneath a heavy watch, making it wobbly and top-heavy. But if you like NATOs, that's great. God bless you. I love you for that. Personal preference, I'm not fond of them. Has a screw-down crown, rotating bezel. I've looked forward to buying this watch for a long time, and when I finally pulled the trigger on it, that very week, Casio came out with the blue version, and boy, I kind of wish I had had that. Okay, the Casio Duro. Next, we have the Casio Edifice. This is one of the earliest watches I bought. I bought this directly from the Casio website, and I bought it because it cost $35, and to me, it looked really good. It's got a really nice blue sunburst. I love the bold Arabics. Just look at them. And you'll note it has a crown at 3 o'clock and a date window at 4:30. I don't think I've seen that before. Loom is not great. And that's about it for the Casio Edifice. Next, we have a G-Shock, my only G-Shock, and therefore my only digital watch. This is from the Casio DW5600 series, which, if you're interested in black, you can buy all day for under 50 bucks. I paid a premium for this color. I really did. And it came from England. So this is the display I use. Day, date, time in 24-hour time or military time. And that's it. That's really all I'm interested in. I don't go nuts with 16 alarms or world time here or there or anything else. This is really all I'm interested in. It is both solar and atomic, and that makes life very easy. Okay, the Casio, part of the DW5600 series. Next is the Casio MRW200H. These are fun little watches. Fun because they come in a lot of fun colorways. They really do. I went for the max contrast here, white on black, and just look how clear this dial is. This is a 42 millimeter watch, and I am not ashamed to tell you I paid all of $19 for this. Can you imagine that? Getting this much watch for $19? You know, to many that would be a throwaway beater, but to me it's too good looking to treat it that way. And yet, if you lost it or broke it, boy, it's easy to replace. You can watch a lot of Nut and Fancy videos where he takes these. He owns several of them, different colors. He takes these diving. You can see these perform underwater. So it truly is a diver with 120 click unidirectional bezel and a screw down crown. That's it, the Casio MRW200H. Okay, here we are at the last of the Casios. This is a Casio Wave Scepter, which means it's solar and atomic. And boy, this is an old sentimental favorite. I've had this for about 15 years, long before I even started watch collecting. And I called my brother Thomas, an avid collector, and I said, give me some advice on a watch. He says, well, what are you looking for? And I said, I want a no nonsense watch that is accurate. He says, well, you probably want an atomic watch. He recommended this one, and I have had it ever since, and I have loved it ever since. It has an anti-digital display, which the image might be too dark for you to see, but it says Fry 31, meaning Friday the 31st. That was New Year's Eve that day. Um, I just, boy, I love this watch. It's old, it's beat up, it's scuffed up, but still works, still pulls in that signal, still sets itself automatically. If you're looking for an atomic watch, Casio's the place to look. Okay, Wave Scepter. Next on our list is the Citizen Promaster BN0151 Eco Drive, which is Citizen's way of saying it's solar, but it's kind of goes beyond just solar. I mean, if it is put into a dark drawer with a full charge, it'll go 6 months without, well, it goes into a power saving mode. The hands stop moving, but the background quartz is still running. So when you take it out after whatever duration, you'll watch the hands reset itself. If the capacitor charge is low, the second hand starts ticking in 2 second intervals. Now, this came with a blue silicone rubber pleated diver's watch with all kinds of stuff I don't need, like dwell times and dive times at different depths before you need decompressing, printed on the side. No thanks. So I took it off and got this nice blue Cordura watch band on it, which I like. Um, it's got a 4 o'clock crown and a 4 o'clock date window, which of course you can't see because I didn't want to move the hands for the picture, I guess. Um, uh, this was sort of the beginning of my willingness to spend more money than I was on the inexpensive Casios, and sort of gave me an appetite for a better watch. It's worthy to note that the loom on this is absolutely superb. In fact, when Jody tested this watch, Jody from Just One More Watch, um, it won his Loom Wars, one of his Loom Wars. I don't remember which watches it was up against, but this took first place. So that's it. The Citizen Pro. Oh, did I say 44 millimeters in diameter? The Citizen ProMaster BN0151. Next, we have a Croton C Diver with a blue grid dial. Look at that dial. Isn't that great? Um, you know, I paid $22 for this watch. And immediately after I bought it, the same listing jumped up to 88, which is where most of them are right now, although I did see one just minutes ago for 150. 22, if you can get this for 22, buy 3 of them. It's a good looking watch. What we have is a stainless steel bezel, unidirectional rotating 120 clicks, and it's got great numerals. It is unfortunate that the date window crowds the numeral 3. Here's a case where the date window would have been better at 4:30. The loom, of course, stinks. It is 42 millimeters. And that's about it. Okay, now we come to the watch that everybody loves to hate, the Invicta Pro Diver. You know, even the most fervent Invicta haters will say, you know, the Pro Diver really ain't bad. And I'm here to tell you, the Pro Diver really ain't bad. Is it a Rolex Submariner homage? You bet it is. It's got the Cyclops, it's got the Mercedes hands, and, you know, that's all you need to pilfer to call yourselves a Submariner homage. But I got to tell you something. I was so naive when I bought this. I did not know what a Rolex Submariner was. I bought it because I liked it. So I wasn't trying to pretend I had a Rolex by any means. It's 42 millimeters. It's, see the lollipop at the end of the second hand? When that rotates around in its tick, tick, tick quartz kind of way, it lines up exactly over the round circular uh, indices at the 5-minute markings. Kind of nice. Okay, the loom, like all Invictas, ain't great. It's just, you know, inexpensive watches, it seems the loom was the first thing that they cut. It's got an aluminum bezel, 120 click, unidirectional. Crown guards, screw down, hacking, and quick day settings. That's it, the Invicta Pro Diver. Our next watch is the Luminox 42 millimeter yellow dial diver. I really don't have a model number for you, sorry. This has a date window at 3 o'clock. I would have liked it if the background of the date window matched the yellow. It has tritium tubes in the hands, even on the second hand, and at the indices. And boy, does this stuff work at night. It exceeded my expectations. You know, this is supposed to be the official watch of the Navy SEALs, and on the case back it has the Navy SEALs logo with the eagle and the trident, and that's cool. And yet, for a Navy SEALs dive watch, it does not have a screw-down crown, and that made me suspicious. And one astute viewer, when he saw my video, said, this is a knockoff. And yet, I was careful about this, and I bought it from a listing that said the guy was an AD, an authorized dealer. So who knows? They have a 200-meter water resistant. I don't know how they got that without a screw down crown. And anyway, I like it, and I love the tritium, the Luminox Diver. Next, we have a Swiss-made Mondaine. This is actually a wristwatch modeled after the official clock in all the Swiss national railroad stations. Swiss are famous for the punctuality of their trains, and they actually commissioned a watch design that looks just like this but bigger. Boy, there's a lot of Bauhaus minimalism here that I absolutely love. The black hands and indexes and second hash marks against the white dial. You couldn't ask for better contrast. The red lollipop second hand, boy, there's a story here. The conductors on the Swiss railroads have these red lollipop sticks that they use to signal to the engineers. And that's what this emulates. I love this watch. I'm very proud to say I was actually a whole year ahead of Jody when he finally got his and reviewed it. And let me tell you, Jody's, as I remember, he had the black face with the white hands and the white indices, and it was, boy, it was every bit as elegant as this. I actually used this as a dress watch because I have no dress watches, and I'm fine with that. Um, 41 millimeter. The model is SBB CFF FFS. The Mondaine railroad watch, I call it, just for. Our next watch was a gift to me, so I have no paperwork on it, and I have a feeling it's one of the older watches in my collection. I call it the Seiko Titanium Quartz. It is a titanium case, titanium band, titanium clasp. It's very, very light on the hand, and it's 37 millimeters, one of the smaller, if not the smallest watch in my entire collection. It has a 50-meter water resistance, not great, but who's going to take a watch like this sea diving? And it has lume dots on those triangular indices and on the hands, but the lume dots and a little bit on the very tip of the second hand. Those dots, if you're in a dark room and it's charged up, the lume charged up, they're really kind of elegant. This parade of dots running around the track there, but it doesn't last long. The lume doesn't last long. I like this watch. It's a fine looking watch. I'm grateful for the gift. Has sentimental value for me because of from whom it came. And if I have one little nitpick about this, it's the diameter of the crown. It's a little too small for my clunky fingers. There you go, the Seiko Titanium Quartz. Our next watch is the Stuhrling Original Cushion. I call it the Cushion. It is 45 millimeters. This is the largest watch in my collection. Why so big, Luigi? Well, I wasn't looking for a Stuhrling in particular, and I wasn't looking for big in particular, but I was looking for a cushion watch. I wanted to add a cushion watch to my collection, and this is what I found. Um, Big bold numerals, except at the 6 where they have a inset second hand. Big bold hands, second and minute hand. I'm sorry, minute and hour hand. Big white. Legibility is not an issue here. The inset hands are really like a 4-bladed propeller, except one of the blades is red. I know the other two appear orange. They're picking up some reflection, but the truth is they're highly polished silver. Um, Look at the knurling on that crown. Boy, that's for people like me. And that little smooth spot in the middle makes it easy to grab and pull out. It is unprotected, but other than that, I really like the knurling like that. Now you see the bolt pattern, the 4 around the perimeter? I used to think that was some sort of proprietary screw pattern, hex, some kind of special bit. But my brother explained to me that was a stylized Stuhrling S, and now it makes a little more sense. This is not the original strap that came with it. It was a funny green putty color. This is more of a tobacco color. It looks a lot better. I enjoy the watch. I call it the Stuhrling Cushion. Our next watch I call the Swiss Army Diver. Now, I know almost nothing about this. I stumbled upon it on eBay, and I liked the look so much that I picked it up for short money. It is a 40 millimeter watch with a beautiful brushed stainless steel bezel. You know, you see the pusher at 8 o'clock. The guy was honest in the listing. He says it doesn't work. And I found others of these later, and they all said the same thing. The pusher at 8 o'clock doesn't work. I suspect, given sort of the way the letters appear to be painted on something above the actual dial face, that this is a luminous dial. And that, like Indiglo, and that makes me think that this watch was made for Swiss Army by who does the Indiglos, the Timex, I think. So it's got a date window, and it's got the 24-hour time, the military time in reverse contrast on the chapter ring. I like the big arrow on the hour hand. I like how the minute and hour hand are outlined in black. I wish I knew more about this. I don't think it's worth it, given what I paid for it, to have that pusher fixed. And I don't even know what it does, but I do like Indiglo dials. I really do. Look at the lugs, how they flare out at the once they get beyond the spring bar. I think that just adds to the sharpness of its look. I wish the crown were not necessarily larger diameter, but thicker. Just a little more meat there to get your fingers on. So that's it. The Swiss Army Diver. Finally, our last watch in this Quartz collection is the Timex Expedition Scout, a classic field watch. Doesn't get any more classic than this. You know, it's 40 millimeter with a cream dial. I paid a premium for the cream dial with the black finish on the case. What does that mean? It means I paid $39 for it. It's got a date window at 3 o'clock. I realize in this picture it might appear that the date window background matches the dial. It doesn't. It's white. Its legibility here is not an issue. It's the kind of watch you can read at a glance. It has plenty of lume on the hands, so it appears, but the truth is, by pushing in the crown, this is an Indiglo dial, and I love Indiglo dials. I think they're just great. Now, a lot of people out there in YouTube land complain about how loud a Timex Quartz is. Well, it's probably because I'm old and my ears are shot, but I have never once heard this thing ticking away. Never once. A really great 40 millimeter, good size field watch, the Timex Expedition Scout. That concludes the Quartz collection. The next video I post will be the automatics, and they, I would say, in general, the quality and the cost of them exceeds everything in the Quartz collection. Although I do enjoy my Quartz watches a lot. So stay tuned for that. God bless you. I love you all. Take good care and stay safe out there. Bye bye.